Now with our stateful widget added, it's important to have a brief first look. I'll later have a more detailed look, but a brief first look at what Flutter actually does when setState is executed here. setState is a function that forces Flutter to re-render the user interface. However, not the entire user interface of the entire app. Instead, what setState does in the end is it calls build again of this widget where you call setState. Now in our case, that is almost the entire app, right? My app, this widget here, with this build method, that is basically our entire app. But later in this course, we'll have bigger applications with more widgets where we split that into more custom widgets. And therefore, it will really make a difference if you update the entire app or just that widget with setState. So setState updates this widget by calling its build method again. Now the build method goes ahead and rebuilds this widget tree. It basically goes through all these instructions again. Now that might sound very inefficient because the majority of this user interface didn't change, right? All the buttons are still the same, the app bar is the same, only this text changed. And therefore, Flutter, no worries, is pretty efficient about that. Internally, it has a lot of mechanism to go through that build method again, but to not re-render the entire UI again. So it does not redraw every pixel again. In the end, it just has its tools and its mechanisms to find out what changed on the screen and what needs to be redrawn. And therefore, it will find out that text here changed, that this widget changed because the text we passed to it changed, and it will only update this text here in the end. Now, again, I'll dive deeper into how that works and how we can find out what Flutter changed and so on. I'll dive into that throughout the course once we are a bit more proficient with Flutter. It's just a brief first look which I wanted to give you at this point, that build is getting called when you call setState, and that is why you see the change then. And that is also why you didn't see anything without setState, because then you changed the data, which is nice, but Flutter never executed build again, and therefore this widget tree never got rebuilt, and therefore this text with the updated text never made it onto what the user sees.